Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.
The news related to Chandrayaan-3 mission because of the successful landing of our lander in the southern pole of the lunar. There has been 3 to 4 articles which I try to consolidate and to give to you in the simplified form, and the analysis related to it. Okay, what does the news says is that the news analysis across various articles says they have mentioned or identified what are all the benefits and what are all the way forward that the ISRO as well as the government of India needed to do hereafter to strengthen the space research, and then the Chandrayaan-3 mission itself, about the Chandrayaan-3 mission itself. So this is what the news is related to Chandrayaan-3 in today's newspaper is about. Okay, what kind of questions have been asked previously in civil service examination at mains stage is that, see, what is India's plan to have its own space station and how will it benefit our space program? So this is what they have been asking whenever there is a news related to space related activity, research in the areas of space is about. Okay, how the news is related to civil service examination is that the news is related to UPSC General Studies paper 3 under a topic called Science and Technology, and under that a subtopic called Awareness in the field of IT, space, computers, robotics, nanotechnology as well as biotechnology. Okay, let's discuss about the Chandrayaan-3 mission. As we all know, the Chandrayaan-2 could not be able to land successfully in the southern pole of moon. So as a follow-up to that mission to successfully land or lander the southern pole of the moon, the Chandrayaan-3 mission has been made. So it is the follow-on mission of Chandrayaan-2. It contains the lander as well as rover payload, and the mission will be launched through launch vehicle Mark 3 and the lander payloads contains Chandra's surface thermophysical experiment, and then it contains instrument for lunar specific activity, and then Langmuir probe. What is the first component under the lander payload and what speciality holds is that the Chandrayaan surface thermophysical experiment will measure thermal conductivity as well as temperature. And as well as temperature. So what is the second payload under the lander is about is that the instrument for lunar is not specific, its seismic activity is related to measuring the specific seismic related seismic related events in the moon. And the third subcomponent of the lander payloads is Langmuir probe, and it is used to estimate the plasma density and its variations. Plasma density in the moon. So these are all the functions of the payload of the landers. Okay, and the rover has two payloads: alpha particle X-rays spectrometer and then laser induced breakdown spectroscope. And these two payloads will be used for measuring the elemental components of the moon. Okay, why the Chandrayaan-3 mission is being launched is that because of three objectives. First is India wanted to, particularly ISRO wanted to demonstrate the softer landing of the lander in the southern part of the moon, and then demonstrate the roving technology in the southern part of the moon. Third objective is to do the scientific experiment in the southern part of the moon. So this kind of scientific experiment will be done by the payloads of lander as well as rover, which I have mentioned above. And how the payloads have traveled from Earth to the lunar orbit is that it is because of lunar orbit injection maneuver. But in the case of Russia's mission to the southern pole of the Earth, which was failed recently, the Luna 25 mission followed direct injection into the moon. So what is the difference between them is that in the case of lunar orbital injection maneuver, which is followed by the ISRO, the satellite will be revolving around the Earth in the elliptical path. So whenever it is coming towards the perigee position, it will the payload will accelerate heavily so that it could able to escape the gravity pull of the Earth. So because of the increased acceleration, it could be able to extend the distance of the orbit from one level to another level, so that it will be going to the second level of the orbit. So and it will increase the distance because of this acceleration, and it will be revolving around. When it comes here for third time, it will again accelerate and it will be jumping into the third level of orbit. Simultaneously, it will be maneuvering around the Earth for quite some time, and once it gathered a sufficient momentum to escape that velocity or escape the gravity, it will escape in after gathering that momentum, it will escape the gravity push of the Earth, and it will be reaching the Luna's orbit, where the reversal of the maneuver which was done in the Earth orbit will be done at the orbit of lunar. So this is what the lunar orbit injection maneuver which is being followed by Chandrayaan-3. But in the case of Luna 25 mission of Russia's moon mission, this is Earth and this is moon, means because of heavy engine and advanced technology being used in the engine of the rocket being launcher being launched by the Russia. In the case of Luna 25 mission, it will directly go into the orbit of moon without doing any kind of maneuver as in the case of Chandrayaan-3. So this is what the difference between the Chandrayaan-3 and Luna 25 mission is about, and this is what the kind of traveling has been made by the Chandrayaan-3 in reaching the Luna's southern pole. Okay, what is the reason why the nations are racing for Moon's southern pole is because of the ancient ice which is present, the frozen ice which is present in the southern part of moon, and if the particular product or the item has been frozen, means its chemical as well as physical composition does not have undergone any kind of not any drastic kind of changes, because of which the site could provide ample evidence related to lunar volcanoes and the materials of comets as well as asteroids which has reached the lunar millions of years ago, and then it could also able to gather some idea about origin of oceans. And then this frozen ice could act as a source of drinking water for the astronauts to do their moon exploration. And then the moon water could act as cooling element for cooling the equipment which is brought to the lunar area, so that the favorable condition could be created for the researchers to do research in the lunar area in future. And then this water could be converted into hydrogen, which is the very important fuel which the whole country is aspiring about, because of transition of the entire economy from fossil fuel economy to non-fossil fuel economy, in which hydrogen will be one of the major important component when the country is transformed into the non-fossil fuel based economy. So the moon water could act as the source for the hydrogen. Then it could also act as the source for oxygen also. Similarly, the moon. So if we could able to find that whether the moon is going to have a conducive environment, means, and it has the potential to act as way station for our further exploration in the other interplanetary research. Similarly, it will help us to identify, because of our understanding about the material composition of the moon, the future lunar mining will be possible. And then through the evidence of these kind of activities, through the evidence of these kind of things, which we could able to understand the history of evolution of our solar system precisely. So these are all the benefits which the southern pole of the moon brings about. And how it will benefit our private sector industries, that so India, because of our India's technological demonstration has reached a new level because of our safe landing in the southern side part of the moon, which no country has made till now. India's image, or the technological image, has enhanced across the global world, so that India's space services for the global countries will increase, which in turn will boost the private investment activities. See, the global service which is going to get increased aftermath of the Chandrayaan-3 could not be handled by the government agencies only. So there need to be increased private sector participation, which will benefit the private players, more importantly the private space entrepreneurs. Secondly, the success has boosted the investors' confidence. Most importantly, the space sector's investors' confidence. So they will be vying to invest in the space related activities in India. Third is it increased the morale of the space entrepreneurs as well as aerospace engineers and other space technical experts. So it will motivate them to stay back in India, contribute to the further space related activities in India. So in a indirect way, it will be stopping the brain drain from India. Right now, the space science is gathering momentum as an alternate field for IT sector. So it could also, and there are some because of this kind of investment as well as increased demand for space sector activities across the globe, the successful demonstration of a technology will increase the morale of the space entrepreneurs, so that they could be stay back in India. And what ISRO needed to do further is that there need, right now India could be able to do this kind of massive technological achievement not because of hugeness of budget, but because of efficiency as well as productivity in the process of the technological development. So there need to be adequate increase in the budget, and also our engines need to get boosted, so that in the future mission towards the moon we could able to reach the moon directly without doing any kind of maneuver, like in the case of Luna 25, in the case of Apollo mission, in the case of Change 5 mission of China, where these rockets or these spacecraft reached the lunas through direct injection, not through the maneuver injection, which I have explained in the previous slide. So it could able to save the time, cost, energy of the mission. And then there need to be increased participation of private players, which could be enhanced by easing the rules, regulations and requirements, so that innovation could be further made higher. And then there need to be, see, this landing on the moon and then measuring the physical parameters of the moon is only initial step towards the next stages of next stage of the space exploration. There need to be global collaboration. Why it is that is? So right now, if we, the Chandrayaan-3 will be measuring the physical components like the mineral composition of the moon, and what is the temperature of the moon, and how that surrounding will change if there is a direct effect of sunlight. So this kind of surrounding as well as physical parameters will be measured, and these data will be used in the future exploration, like mining activities in the lunar region for our mineral requirement as well as the other renewable energy requirement. For this kind of activities or exploration needed to take place, means there will be huge amount of investment which a single country could not able to do. So a global collaboration needed to get increased between the like-minded space agencies. And then we all know that right now there is a geopolitical tension between India, China, US is going on, and then Russia towards the whole West. So while having a global collaboration, this geopolitics need to be maintained proactively. That should not hinder any kind of global collaboration in terms of space. Then there need to be a reform in the international law. The Outer Space Treaty is made during 1960s, and the Moon Treaty is made during 1970s. Right now, because of the technological change, socio-political change, socio-economical change, there need to be a reform in this kind of laws, so that there won't be any kind of loopholes will be there. So India needed to play a proactive role in ensuring the global international law as well as forming its own domestic law. So these are all the way forward which the ISRO as well as Government of India needed to do. So what we needed to study further is that we should know about what is Artemis Accord. Second is we should know about what is Nizar mission, that mission which is taking place between between the collaboration of India and USA, and then the Treaty of Spaces. Similarly, there is a collaboration for moon between India and Japan. What it is about, you should know about them also. These are all the other things which we needed to be aware of.